Hey beautiful people, my name is Kristen. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Today I am going to be doing the Canterbury Tales book tag. I was tagged by Fraser Simons at Springboard Thought, and I really appreciate the fact that he tagged me. I have watched multiple people do this tag, and to be honest, it's a little intimidating. It's 25 prompts because there is a narrator host and then the 24 tales. I think there were 30 original pilgrims, if you will, that were on this journey in Canterbury, going to see the site of Thomas Becket's kind of burial. He was just an awesome martyred saint, and so it's kind of spiritual quest. It is just a grand story that I am going to share more about. It is a total classic of Chaucer, and I'm going to actually take some liberty because when I went over to AJ's channel, they are just really, really gracious in that they say it's okay to do as many of the prompts as we feel led to do. So AJ, I'm going to take you up on that, and I am going to kind of modify this to talk about specifically the Canterbury Tales, another book that I will recommend. I recommend AJ Done Reads and Writes as a channel, as well as Simon Fraser Springboard Thought. So I'll recommend a couple channels that in that way. And then also I want to recommend a couple places and just ideas of journeys for your own self to go to. So I do love classics. If you are interested in classics or subscribe to my channel, you probably know that I just have a really strong desire to get more and more into classics. So Chaucer wrote this amazing book. I have a beautiful penguin cloth-bound classic version of it. I have read this. It is, again, just a beautiful story of a pilgrimage, a spiritual pilgrimage of 30 people that are traveling to the site of Thomas Becket's grave, a spiritual quest. He was a martyr, and there is a host and then a bunch of just eclectic people, and so they are charged with each telling a story to kind of entertain one another as they are going through this journey. And you would think that they would be like spiritual bound stories, but they are not. They are all very different. Some of them are very vulgar or very selfish perspective speaking, and some of them, of course, you as a reader will like more than others because you're going to take different things from them. Now, when I was studying theater in London in college, I had the opportunity to actually go to Canterbury in Kent, the UK, and they had at that time a little quaint museum called the Canterbury Tales Museum, and you would actually go from room to room, and these kind of animatronic, I think they were like paper mache or fiberglass sculptures would tell their story. So you got to hear the different Canterbury Tales, most of them, not all of them. We did not have all 24, but you would have the basic ones. I think there were 8 maybe that we would hear like the actual stories, right? And so it was just a fun little thing. I looked because I wanted to recommend this, like if you were in that area to go to it, but the pandemic shut it down, and I was very saddened to hear this. But it got me thinking that it would be lovely if we supported those kind of places again. You know, now that it's a little safer, now that we can go places and keep ourselves distanced and you know, sanitized and safe and all the stuff, to go back to do those intentionally. So I did actually look in my area and discovered a new museum that I had never been to. It's called Sesamique. It's like a music, art, interactive, one of those immersive arts kind of places. And so I'm totally going to take my family there at least this summer and just check this out. So my recommendation is that we go on these journeys, right? These Canterbury Tales, whatever is in your area, just seek that out, because that museum was a real treasure. And you know, if we support places like that, then they can stay in business and continue to flourish. And what a beautiful thing that was to bring Chaucer's work to life for me. Now, the reason why my professor had taken us there specifically was that we were reading the play Becket by Alfred Lord Tennyson, or I'm not sure if it's said Lord Alfred Tennyson or Alfred Lord Tennyson, however it's officially pronounced. But that play was being shown in London, and I just can't even believe how blessed and lucky I was, because Derek Jacobi was playing Becket, and then Kenneth Branagh was playing Henry II. And they were right there. We were like on the 5th row. And I mean, like when they would get all passionate, like their spittle would like hit us. Like it was just so powerful. And that play is just so brilliant. We had read it, studied it, gone to see it, wrote a paper on it as part of this class I was in. So the immersiveness for me was particularly powerful, but I'm really convinced that if you have any interest in history or liking and being okay with reading a story in play format, I highly recommend Becket. I just think it is such a moving, passionate story and told just brilliantly through the theater, or if you get to see it someplace. You know, I think that would be worth the ticket price. I would love to see it again, even without the 5-star actors. So those are, I recommend the Canterbury Tales if you are into classics. It is not plot, you know, action-packed, although some of the stories are quite entertaining. And then some of them might not be to your taste, but you could totally even DNF one story that wasn't working for you and just move on to the next one, right? So Canterbury Tales by Chaucer, Becket by Alfred Lord Tennyson, and then check out these new channels. Check out someplace local and quirky and fun and support them so that these places don't go out of business. And this is my nod to the Canterbury Tales tag. I hope, AJ, that was okay with you. I just love your channel. Everybody should check them out. I'll leave the links to all of this information below. Thank you for stopping by, hanging with me, letting me be a little quirky and a little onto my own tales as well. I appreciate you. Take care.